Hey everyone, happy Tuesday, or as a lot of people around the world will be calling this, GTA 5 day. But I digress. Welcome to today's My Color Screen video. This is the place where you can come to learn everything there is to know about customizing your Android home screen. In today's video tutorial, I'll be going through a very simple beginner minimal Android home screen assist for everyone out there that just wants a quick and simple setup that displays all the important information that you need with minimal effort. So without any further ado, let's bring you today's video tutorial. Great, so in today's video tutorial, I'll be helping you recreate this very screen. It is by the author THENEXT, and it is simply called, well, Simple View. And all I can say is that it's extremely minimal and looks very clean and polished, sophisticated. Call it what you want. All I can say is that I really enjoy it just because you've got your icons at the bottom here. These are your click UI icons that you can obviously change what you want. You've got your time and date standing out neatly there that you can quickly have a glance at and see straight away what the time is. You've got your Google search bar at the top there. Just by selecting it will bring up your search or Google Now, as well as your weather information here that looks very nice. It's got that very holo effect there with that little weather icon there. And a little bit below, I'm not sure if you can see it too well, but if I zoom in a bit, you can see that it's got your messages, your Gmail, and your phone. It's very minimal and sleek. I really enjoy it. It shows you how much notifications you have for your day-to-day running around. The author has been very kind enough to provide you with a few extra wallpapers just to get you going, but you're always welcome to use your own. So if you'd like to recreate this very simple setup on your home screen, let us begin with today's video tutorial. Great, so before you begin, just some apps and resources that you'll be needing in order to get this awesome setup on your phone. First things off, the apps that you'll be needing will definitely be a custom launcher such as Nova Launcher. This is the one that I'm running right now. But as always, you're welcome to use Apex Launcher, Holo Launcher, SS Launcher, pretty much any other launcher, as it's just a simple UCCW skin setup as well as the icons at the bottom. Next up, you'll be needing UCCW in order to add in these skins over here, as well as the click UI icons that you see before you at the bottom here. I did cover them in the top icon packs of the week. If you didn't watch it, you definitely want to check it up over there. These are fantastic looking icons. Finally, I do recommend getting a good file explorer such as ES File Explorer just to help you navigate things a bit better. And then obviously don't forget to check in the link in the description below for the resources that you'll need to copy onto your phone. You can either just unzip them onto your computer and then copy them onto your phone, or then just copy them straight onto your phone and then use your file explorer to extract them as, it comes in a zip format. Remember to leave the UCCW skins alone, the ones that come in that .uzip format, as UCCW knows what to do with them. So once you have all the apps that you need and resources on your phone, let us begin with the launcher setup. Great, so if you have any icons or widgets or anything else on your screen, remember just to hold down and remove them, or hold down and drag them into the X at the top, wherever. Just get rid of anything on your screen. You just want it to be blank. Once that's done, you want to simply hold down on your home screen. For your Nova settings, you'll just select the little range here. For other launchers, obviously, you just have to find your way into your launcher settings. Next up, we're going to be jumping into your desktop settings here. From here, we're going to go into our desktop grid. Now, I do opt for a 12 by 12. It is recommended. It did also look good on an HTC One. So I do say start off with a 12 by 12. I know other launchers, they tend to stick to, you can only go up to a 10 by 10. So try out a 10 by 10. You pretty much want as much rows and columns as you can just for better resizing. And as always, if it doesn't look too good on, I say a 12 by 12 or a 10 by 10, then start getting lower or higher or whatever, just so you can get your grids to be aligned correctly. For your margins, you want your width and your height margins to be both on none. You want to obviously just disable shadows. Home screens is going to be one home screen this time around. And then scrolling to the bottom, we want to enable resize all widgets. Widgets overlap and overlap when placing. Very, very crucial for this setup. If we go into our dock now, this time around we want to be enabling that dock at the bottom, as yes, we'll be using that dock setup. We're going to jump into our dock pages. Obviously you just want to have one. Our dock icons, however, we want to have 7 icons. That's right. Now, very important, our width margin, we want it to be a large width margin, just so that there's a little bit gap there. You also just want to have small icons enabled, just makes it an added touch. And also you want to have dock as overlay enabled. That'll be in your advanced settings if you bring it down like that. Just going to select back now. If we go into our look and feel, we're going to go into our icon theme, and you can choose it however you want it to be. Say if you want to just say select click UI It'll then install it onto your phone and change all the icons around. But however, you're always just welcome to edit them manually, which I'll show you later on. Also in the look and feel, don't forget to scroll to the bottom and disable notification bar, that one at the top. Don't worry, we can still scroll down if it is disabled. And you're always welcome to add in a gesture just to double tap to quick show it, depending on what your preference is. Great, there's our Nova settings complete. I'm just going to be selecting the back button now. Great, so this is what your home screen should more or less look like. Obviously, I'll be changing in the dock icons later. I just left them like this for now, as this is very easy to quickly change. So next up, we're going to be changing the wallpaper. Alrighty, so the wallpaper, very, very easy to do. If we hold down on the home screen and select wallpapers, we get a list of, you can say, choose your preferred gallery app. I always like to go for Quick Pick. Next up, you want to find where you've copied those resources, those wallpapers onto your phone. Quick Pick should automatically pick them up. I'm just going to go for this one over here. You got a choice of 3. Next up, if you're using Nova Launcher, you get the option of cropping it how you want. So if you select the little icon, the crop icon here at the bottom, and now just select portrait. I don't know, for some reason I just enjoy this better. It just gets you a better look of how this is going to look on a single screen setup. So I'm just going to get it more or less in this area. I'm going to be selecting OK. It's going to now set the wallpaper for you, and let's just see what it looks like. Much, much better. So there's our wallpaper complete. Let's jump into adding those awesome looking UCCW skins. Great, so in order to set up your UCCW skins, very easy to do. Always make sure that you've got your UCCW skins copied onto your phone, and remember not to unzip them or whatever, just leave them alone. So I'm just hold down on my home screen, select widgets, scroll all the way now to the bottom and select UCCW. Next up, as always, with what I really enjoy about UCCW, it doesn't really matter what size you choose. I can go say for a 4x2, you can always just resize it anyway. Next up, I'm going to be selecting the uzip option here, and here's where I'll start importing each one of my individual .uzip skins. Now also remember, don't forget to copy the weather uzip onto your phone. Now there's two, there's the original weather.uzip and the weather edit. So if the first weather one doesn't work for you, then you must just select the weather edit one, and it should display the little weather icon there. But I'm just going to be starting off with the top, so I'm going to be selecting the search Google, so I'm just going to be selecting it. It's going to now import it onto my screen. Now if I just select the hand, it should be pretty small because it's a massive grid size. So I'm just going to hold down on it, select resize, and then bring it to the top. Pretty much more or less covering the top of my screen like that. As you can see, I got it as wide as I could and touching the top as well. But as always, if using a different phone, it might differ slightly, but this seemed to work out pretty well for me, even though I've got my soft keys enabled at the bottom. I'm just going to tap away now. And that is pretty much your first UCCW skin enabled. It looks really good. So I'm just going to start adding in the rest. Now, this is a very simple process. I'm not going to obviously insert every single one and show you how to do it, but I'll just do the next one just to give you a better idea. So remember, it doesn't really matter. Let's go for any size like that. It's going to go back into my uzip icon at the top there. And let's go for the clock.uzip like that, just because it's the one underneath. So it's just going to import it like this, tap the hand. Now remember, sometimes it might show up with a rectangle. It's not always a good thing. There are a few fixes. One I first recommend you doing is just to remove it. And then if it did import correctly, then you can just add it again from that UCCW list, the one that shows you all the skins that you've imported, not selecting the uzip and not re-importing it. And if that doesn't work, then try restarting your phone. And if that doesn't work, then maybe see in the comments below how everyone else must have fixed it. But it doesn't really happen often. So I'm just going to be resizing this like this. I think that looks pretty good. But now, however, if you say you want to now hold down on this and say send to back, that'll now allow you to get to this Google search bar at the top, as now that one will be in the front. Now I'm just going to be adding in the rest one by one. It's pretty much just your weather one over here. Like I said, remember to check if it's either the weather one or the weather edit, depending on which one works well for you. And then below that, you'll just be adding in your phone, your email, and your messages.uzip. So I'll let you add those in and then come back to this video once you've added them all in. So hopefully your skin should look like this. For some reason, I couldn't get these to align to the side like this, but we're going to try change that right now. The great thing about UCCW is that it's completely editable, and you can achieve that by going into the UCCW editor. Now, in order to get into that UCCW editor, you just have to simply tap on one of the skins. This will bring up your editor like this, and if that doesn't go on, that means that your your lock widgets mode is on. In order to change that, we just need to go into the menu option button here at the top or at the bottom, go into your lock widgets and make sure that it's off. Otherwise, you won't be able to get into any of your editors for any of the skins. So in order to get these in line with these skins over here, I'm just going to be selecting the skin like this. This will bring up my editor. Go into my edit objects this time. Next up, I'll be going into my common controls, as this allows me to move everything all at once. If I select position now, select faster movement, I can now move it all the way to the side, which is pretty cool. Cool, so I think that looks pretty good, but I'm not too sure how it's going to look. So if I just go back and exit out of the app, go back all the way, select yes, and there it is, it's moved. It looks a lot better now, so I'm just going to be doing the exact same for these two over here. Great, so once you've resized or repositioned all the different UCCW skins, we can start editing the hotspots. Now, if you're still not too clued up on how to use UCCW and what exactly hotspots are, I do recommend checking in the UCCW tutorial in the link below, as it pretty much goes through everything that you need to know in order to master this amazing app. But for now, I'll just be going through one hotspot and teaching you how to do that, and then from there you can pretty much gather how you'll do the rest of them. So what I want my weather icon to do is, when I select it, bring up my preferred weather app. So in order to do that, I'm going to be selecting this skin over here. It'll bring up my editor once again. But now we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. I'm going to go into my edit objects, go into my hotspots, and then from here, I want to be selecting my hotspot 1. Now, as you can see, I've already configured mine, but if you've just started off, it should be looking like this. So all you'd have to do is move around on the screen here. Your hotspot will now appear. The sizing of it should be a little bit different, but you're always welcome to change your width and height in the options below over here. But what I'm worried about is what happens when I select that hotspot. So from here, I'll be selecting the hotspot option here, selecting app now, and then from here choosing whatever app that I'd like to open when I select that skin. So when I scroll down, I want to open up Iron Sky. It's now being configured to that hotspot, and you're welcome to add in as many hotspots as you like. There's quite a high number, or there's quite a high limit. So once you've added in each one of the hotspots, I want you to now go into your options, or remember to do this to each one of the skins. Select lock widgets and then select on. This will now enable all the hotspots for each of these different UCCW skins that you have configured. So please don't write a comment saying that selecting your Google search bar didn't bring up the search bar. You have to configure that manually for yourself. So there we have our UCCW skins out of the way. Let's jump into the dock, which is extremely easy to do. Great, so for the dock, there's two ways of doing this. You can either add these icons in manually, or you can just select it from your app drawer list. But let's make an app drawer icon first. So all you'd have to do, let's move this out of the way, as I just want to get some space for my grid, as there's not really much space left on the screen. I'm going to hold down on the home screen here, select Nova Actions, and now select App Drawer, as this will now create an app drawer for me. What I'm going to do now is, because my dock is now being enabled, I'm going to hold down on it for a while. For some reason, Nova Actions take a while, and you have to drag it down, pop, and it'll then pop into the dock like that. So that's been my app drawer over there, and in order to change that, you'll just simply have to hold down on it for a while, select Edit, select the icon, and hopefully if you've got Click UI installed onto your phone, it should come up with all of the different icons that you can choose from. So if you want a nice, awesome looking app drawer, I'm just going to be selecting that icon like I did previously, selecting the tick, and there will now be changed, and you can just move it onto that side over there. So I'm just going to remove this one now. And now in order to add the different icons respectively, there's two ways of doing it. You can either just go into your app drawer like this. Say if I wanted to add in my Chrome icon, I'll just simply have to hold down on it and then drag it in like that. And I actually think that's actually probably the easiest way of doing it. You're always welcome to say hold down on the home screen, select apps, and then choose it accordingly like this. You can always welcome to say select multiple, whatever else, it's all up to you. So you can minimize that now. You're also welcome to make these icons into folders just by simply dragging in multiple apps into them. So like, got all my utilities like that into this folder, and it looks really, really good. So there we have our home screen complete. I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, as well as to please subscribe to the mycolorscreen channel if you haven't already. Also, please don't forget to check out our Facebook, Google+, Twitter communities, Instagram communities. We always enjoy helping you guys out. So Marco here, thank you very much, guys, for watching, and as always, don't stop customizing.